Greetings, agents of change. I am Trista Sue, and I am joining you from my garden in the mountains of beautiful North Carolina in our summer home retreat. Now, I must admit, we are somewhat removed from the real world in our small remote town, where there isn't even a stoplight. We don't have mail delivery service or even trash pickup. And we have so much company during the summertime, it's quite easy just to simply enjoy them and all the fun water toys on our lake and blissfully remain in peace and quiet. And then I go inside and I turn on the TV. And once again, I'm reminded of the current events that are happening. And I am deeply disturbed as I bear witness the recent events. It seems like we are backtracking in many facets of society, especially when it pertains to our freedoms. I am also alarmed at who society looks to and considers leaders. They're the ones making all the decisions that affect us. And I would like to formally declare that we are at a pivotal point in history. And not because of this pandemic, but in what I consider a crisis of leadership. There is such a vacuum of true, authentic leaders that I must respond in a number of ways. I understand clearly the pandemic that we are in, where the ignorant are in positions of power, and also those that are influencing the decision makers. They have their personal, national, and global agendas. Now, I must remind you that having a seat of power or a title does not automatically qualify you as an authentic leader. Just as wearing a power suit does not guarantee your motives are pure or ethical either. Now, herein lies the dilemma of this leadership crisis that we are facing. Most of the people that we call leaders are not true, authentic leaders. They define their leadership solely based because of a position, a title, status, power, money, or the amount of people that follow them. Unfortunately, even the masses look to the outside appearance of what somebody looks like as a leader, or even base their decisions on how articulate their speech is, as if that's qualification enough. However, none of this is what defines a true, authentic leader. The issue boils down to this. If you don't know what something authentically looks like, then you won't recognize it when it's a phony. There are so many people in power positions fronting as leaders. However, I have determined there are nothing but illegitimate, inauthentic people in leadership positions. Now, fortunately for me, I was trained by the best in our generation, Dr. Miles Monroe, who successfully demonstrated and taught the true spirit of authentic, legitimate leadership. And here is what he taught me. That society's philosophy and false concept of leadership is the root of the problem as to why we cannot find true leaders. Leaders without ulterior motives that cannot be bought or manipulated. They often try to manipulate the masses with fear in order to control the outcomes that comply with their agenda. So before we can understand what it means to become an authentic leader, we must understand the current leadership philosophy that has been accepted by humanity and take a look at what true, authentic leadership is not. This illegitimate philosophy has 5 tenets. Number 1, that leadership is about controlling and imposing one's will on others. Secondly, they believe that leadership is the management of people. Thirdly, they systemically believe that leadership is superior to following, and this is why it is so dangerous to promote certain people. Fourthly, they believe leadership is served by followers and that it is measured by how many followers you have. They falsely believe that leadership is cultivating and manipulating the fear of others. These individuals are nothing but professional manipulators. They force things to go their way with ulterior motives. It's an oppressive spirit where they withhold from you in order to manipulate you. They work on your emotions with words. Now, true authentic leadership is completely contrary to these elements. A true leader is focused on serving one gift for the sake of humanity. For authentic leadership is not measured by how many people serve you, but by how many people you serve. Now, unfortunately, the majority of many are focused on self-preservation or the next election. And when you spend your life living for others, you will never die. You will live beyond the grave through your legacy, meaning your leadership impact will outlive you. You see, true authentic leadership is not about control, but about service. It is not about power, but empowerment. Most people say, oh, that's a powerful leader. Look how he dresses and addresses the crowds. Now, this is the problem, because a true leader instead has people saying, he empowered me to become myself and serve my greatness. So true leadership is not about manipulation, but about inspiration. Inspiring others to the highest is the highest form of leadership. Authentic leadership is not about people, but about purpose. So it has more to do with pursuing oneself rather than being pursued by others. True leadership is becoming more than doing. When you have discovered something about yourself in the process of becoming oneself, then you do and you inspire others. Now, this generation of leaders we need who can plan, who can make tough decisions, leaders that inspire others and not manipulate them, leaders who respond to change and are compassionate, and those who are honorable and have character. Now, regarding politics, as Dr. Miles Monroe stated, we do not need more politicians in leadership. We need more leaders in politics. Many politicians are power hungry. Too many lack self-esteem and have a poor self-concept. We cannot naively believe because someone is given a title of a politician that they are an authentic leader. The current political system that we have produces politicians rather than true authentic leaders. Politicians who are mostly concerned about the next election rather than the next generation. And this is why they are not truly manifesting their leadership. Their concern is about staying in power instead of serving the people. However, true leaders are concerned about the next generation rather than the next election. Now that we have reviewed what true authentic leadership is, now it's time to take a look at the role of true authentic leaders. They provide an authentic vision that benefits others. It is not mere ambition, which is just centered on self. And then they transfer the vision to others. They build and empower their team towards results. They manage priorities and people's giftings. They must possess values and cultivate a high standard of moral ethics. Never trust a visionary without any values. This leads us to the original and genuine philosophy of leadership, which can be found in the first book of Moses. Every human was created to lead and designed for dominion. Leadership potential resides in every individual. You are born to lead, but you must become a leader. True leadership is about self-manifestation. It is about manifesting who you truly are and born to become. Therefore, the purpose of true leadership is not in maintaining leaders, but in becoming the leader that you were created to be, and in turn, empowering others as they embark on their own leadership potential, purpose, and destiny. As Dr. Miles Monroe stated, trapped in every follower is a hidden leader. Now you must be trained and have a revelation of yourself and manifest yourself in your generation. You see, leadership is not the pursuit of power, position, titles, or authority. What you need to be qualified as an authentic leader is self-actualization of who you are. You need to spend some time with yourself, by yourself, because if you're around too many people who don't know who they are, then they can cloud you from discovering who you authentically were born to be. You see, true leaders are more concerned with expressing themselves than proving themselves. Leadership is not only about the ability, but more importantly, having the proper mentality. You must serve your ability and have the proper mentality, and that is when you become a true authentic leader. This is why it is vital that you discover who you are. For your ability to lead depends on your attitude that is produced by your self-image, your self-worth, and your self-esteem. True authentic leadership is the discovery of self and then serving yourself to your generation. When you know the truth of who you are and why you are here and what you were born to do, and then you serve what you have discovered to humanity with the proper mentality, now you are an authentic leader. Now you will have discovered your area of leadership dominion. Authentic leadership potential built inside of you, however, is only manifested when you discover who you are and you operate in your domain. Now this is where I respond to the global crisis, global leadership crisis. I will begin in-person authentic leadership training coming up in the new year in Naples, Florida, as well as our annual Agents of Change Summit, slotted tentatively for January 2022. So those of you that are international and you want to join us in person, start preparing for such a trip now. Otherwise, you can join us online. I will be announcing the exact date soon. Therefore, I am calling for those of you with character that operate with integrity and you want to make a change for good in your community, at whatever level that may be. It may be local, statewide, or nationally. You may want to be on the PTA board, the school board, or city council. We need God-fearing men and women with values that will stand in the way of adversity and be true agents of change that this generation needs. So be looking for the announcements coming soon, for it's time to make an impact and engage.